Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Baogela 22803 homage to Tissot PRX Chronograph. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing this Shinobi S9870G chronograph, and Gergo's wearing my Pagani Design PD 1751 homage to a Tudor Ranger. Grogu asked me what a ranger is. I said there was an Army Ranger, a Texas Ranger, and a Forest Ranger. He asked, what's Texas? I told him it is a state that is like two planets at once. Half is like Tatooine, just drier. The other half is like Dagobah, just muggier. Alright, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this box. And here it is. Isn't that a nice looking watch? It does look a lot like the Tissot. Last year, Tissot came out with the chronograph version of their very popular PRX. Although Tissot makes very nice quartz chronographs, they only made it in an automatic. And even though Tissot makes some of the most affordable Swiss automatic chronographs, they are charging a whopping $1,825, which is a lot of money for a Tissot. This chronograph must have been popular enough for the AliExpress homage companies to take notice. This Baogela being just under $50 is a quartz version, as automatic chronograph movements tend to be quite pricey. Sometimes the AliExpress companies will sneak in an automatic multifunction. This is a cheaper chronograph as it has the small second chronograph hand rather than large. Would have been nice if they used a VK63 and bumped up the price $10, but at least there is no useless tachymeter. This watch only comes in one other colorway, which is blue dial with silver subdials and chapter ring. I think the one I purchased looks so much better. The watch is 38.2 millimeters at the bezel, but 40.1 millimeters if you measure at the case. 43 millimeters lug to lug if you measure at the case, but 53 millimeters if you measure at the end links. It's only 10.2 millimeters thick, which is pretty thin. And the lug width does not apply, but it's 27 millimeters at the widest link. And it weighs 125 grams on the supplied bracelet with no links removed or added. There was no links to remove because instead of having the links already on, it just included 2 extra links. So you can make it bigger, but I didn't have to. It fit me the way it is. The dial is a silver, not white. It's silver, just a very light silver. Then it's got the Baogela name up top, and then there's no writing on the bottom. It doesn't say Japan movement or anything like that. And there's no mention of the water resistance, but I'm pretty sure you get 50. Yeah, it says 50 on the case back. Then we have applied baton indices with a double at the 12 and short ones where the subdials are. And then we have loom stick hands and no loom on the second hand. And then we have the 3 subdials. The subdial on the right is a 24-hour indicator. I've never been a big fan of those on chronographs. I just think it's a waste of a subdial. Then the bottom one is the actual chronograph. And to use it, you just go ahead and click the top pusher, and then it starts ticking. Then click the top pusher again to stop it, and then the bottom pusher resets it. And there's no sub-seconds, so all you can measure is seconds. And then the left subdial is the minute counter for the chronograph. Then we have a date at the 4:30. The date's pretty good, because sometimes chronographs look bad with the date, but this date's pretty subtle, and I don't think it detracts from the look of the watch. And I can't remember if an actual Tissot has a date or not. Then we have this black chapter ring that matches the subdials. If you get the blue watch, it's a silver chapter ring that matches the silver subdials. Then we have a unsigned push-pull crown. The crown action seems okay. It doesn't seem too loose, but when you go to press it in, that time it didn't jump at all. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be a minute hand jump, so that's good. Then we have the pushers, and the pushers, as you can see, are not round. And of course, that means there's no locking system or anything. But since this is a 50-meter watch, you're not going to go swimming with this anyway. At least I don't suggest you do that. And then we have the crystal is just a flat mineral glass, and it does a pretty good job. I'm a fan of flat on a PRX homage like that because it keeps the thickness down. The case is solid stainless steel, and it's a nice case. I like it, nice and thin, and it's got good brushing on the edges, and it's got brushing on the tops and the bottom. It's fully brushed. And if you look right here, we do have a polished chamfered edge on both sides. That's kind of a nice touch. They didn't really have to do that, but they did. And then we have a press-on case back, and there's no fake stuff making it look like a screw down. This is strictly press-on. You got the slot right there. Then we have the Baogela name up top. And then it says all stainless steel, because this is all stainless steel. Usually if it was an alloy case, which this is clearly not, it would say stainless steel back. Then it says 5 ATM water resistant. So yeah, you get 50. Even though this is a press on and not a screw down. And I don't have the tools to test that. But once again, don't go swimming with this watch. If you look at the AliExpress ad, it says the movement is Japanese quartz, and I'm going to take their word for that. The simple fact that the minute hand doesn't jump is probably a pretty good indicator of that. Then the bracelet is your typical integrated bracelet, the PRX style. It's not quite as nice as the Pagani design, but I would say it's nicer than the Skami and the Whir I reviewed recently. One thing too though, like the Pagani design and the Whir, this has a basically fixed end link, which is, I don't know why they did that, but so far, only of all the PRX homages I've reviewed, only the Skami has a fully articulating end link. And then we have a unsigned butterfly clasp. It's a push, and it seems to work well enough. I don't mind a butterfly clasp on a PRX homage because the links are fairly short, so you can usually get a pretty good fit. Then we have push pin adjusters too, not screw pin, and I'm perfectly fine with that also. Personally, I think I prefer push pin to screw pins because it's just easier, and I never have to worry about push pins falling out on me, and sometimes you have to worry about screw pins coming loose. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. Looks nice, wears nice, not too heavy, has nice reflection doing the wrist roll. I like it. Wears nice and flat on the wrist. And once again, I did not add or remove any links, but it did come with 2 extra links. So you should be able to wear this if you have an 8. Anything bigger than 8 though, you'll probably need more links. And of course, being an integrated bracelet, you're not going to put it on the strap. Here we are in the Loom room. Normally a sub $50 watch is not going to have good Loom, but sometimes I am pleasantly surprised. As we speed up the time, we see the indices are worthless, but just look at those hands. The hands are what matter, and these hands are still going strong. Good Loom for the price. What do I like about this watch? Well, I like the looks. It looks like a lot like a Tissot PRX Chronograph. I also like the fact that the second hand hits the marks. And it's got really good hand loom. Yeah, the index loom blows, but the hand loom is great for considering the price. I really like this bracelet. It's comfortable. It's just a good watch. What are my grapes and groans? The end links do not articulate, which seems to be a common thread for PRX homages. And I don't like the fact that the chronograph hand is the small hand and not the big hand. And that's about it. That's about my only real complaints. I like it. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. For under $50, you're getting a watch that looks a lot like the Tissot and it wears nice. Seems to be well built. It's solid steel. So yeah, I'm happy with this watch, and I think you will be too. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Baogela 22803 homage to Tissot PRX Chronograph, and I will be back with another review. More than likely that Shinobi I'm wearing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.